This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Stephanie Roberts. It is November 1st. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see how we're starting off this month in November with First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi. And we're starting off with a very cool, low, orangish moon this morning, John.
Isn't it beautiful? The full beaver moon coming our way.
Very nice.
Indeed. We are also seeing an increase in our humidity over the course of the next couple of days. And you'll notice that as well in the afternoon. It'll be a little moister around here. Moister? I don't know. No. Anyway, we're looking at satellite view. We're not seeing a whole lot in the way of any kind of cloud cover across the region. Better cloud cover on the other coast, and they may see a sprinkler or two over the next several days, but we stay dry. Check out the 24-hour temperature change. This is from this time yesterday and shows, well, about a 6-degree temperature rise over the last 24 hours at the exact same time yesterday. So we are looking at warmer temperatures with 56 degrees in Sarasota. Venice comes in at 59, 60 in Inglewood, 62 degrees Longboat Key, Wauchula coming in at 56. We are going to see a warmer afternoon as well with a daytime high that probably cracks the 80 mark today. Coming in near the 80 mark with a lot of sunshine around and only a few fair weather clouds. We remain dry as we should in the month of November. Complete forecast in just a few. Back to you, Steph.
All right, thank you, John. Looks great out there for the morning commute, both weather-wise and in terms of traffic. A little bit of volume southbound across the bridges in Palmetto, but for the most part, things do look very quiet. Same story this morning in Sarasota. Little volume eastbound on Bee Ridge, but for the most part, we're certainly off to a quiet start at this early hour. And in South County, Venice, Nokomis, and I-75 across Jacaranda and River Road, all moving well. It is 5:02, and our top story this hour, a man in a rented pickup truck mows down pedestrians and cyclists along a busy bike path in New York City, killing at least 8 and seriously injuring 11. The suspect is in custody and has been identified as 29-year-old Saifulo Saipov of Tampa. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has the latest.
The terror began around 3 in the afternoon on Halloween in Lower Manhattan. Police say 29-year-old Saifulo Saipov, an Uzbekistan immigrant who had been living in Paterson, New Jersey, deliberately drove a rented Home Depot truck onto a bike and pedestrian path, targeting people and running them over.
We know that this action was intended to break our spirit.
The crime scene stretching for several blocks.
We got multiple casualties. This is a mass casualty situation here.
His truck eventually colliding with a school bus, injuring the 2 adults and 2 kids on board before finally coming to a stop just blocks away from the World Trade Center Memorial.
He was had 2 guns on him and he was just running in the street.
The FBI and the NYPD are now urging the public to share any videos or images that could help in the investigation, like this cell phone video that shows the driver limping after getting out of his truck, holding what turned out to be 2 fake guns. Witnesses telling ABC News he shouted Allah Akbar before being shot by an officer.
I want to commend the response of our NYPD officer that was on post near the location who stopped the carnage moments after it began.
The NYPD has been preparing for the possibility of vehicle attacks following similar incidents in France, London, and Berlin. And last night, security was stepped up even more.
You'll see them in the airport, you'll see them in the tunnels. It's not because there's any evidence of any ongoing threat or any additional threat. It is just out of vigilance and out of caution.
And we're now learning more about the suspect. Uber confirms that he was a driver for the company. He's now been banned from the Uber app. The representatives for Uber say that he passed all background checks and they've been in contact with the FBI. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, New York.
South Korean President Moon Jae-in told lawmakers that his country would not develop their own nuclear arsenal. This announcement comes after members of South Korea's opposition party expressed a desire to go forward with a nuclear program. North Korea's increasing nuclear tests have prompted renewed debate over South Korea's protection. President Trump has suggested he is open to allowing nukes to be made in South Korea as well as Japan, despite treaties that prohibit both countries from doing so. However, Moon has remained opposed to any such developments, stating an arsenal would only raise tensions further. A senior Trump administration official announced that the president will not visit the demilitarized zone on his trip to Asia next month. The demilitarized zone, or DMZ, is the heavily fortified border between North and South Korea. It has historically been a symbolic chance for U.S. presidents to look directly into the so-called hermit kingdom, but the official says there's simply not enough time in the president's schedule. The news comes amid heightened tensions between Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Trump has been described negotiations as a waste of time, while some in his administration continue to pursue diplomatic solutions. After an extensive manhunt, Austin Butane was taken into custody without incident Tuesday. Now police are set to question Butane and his wife in connection with a different death in another state. Butane is now a suspect in the death of Mitchell Engel, who died under suspicious circumstances in a Utah trailer park.
Went inside to make sure that the person who was inside the trailer was okay and found that person deceased, probably a 63-year-old white male.
The 24-year-old Butane is accused of fatally shooting University of Utah student Chen Wayne-Gyo. Police say the Beijing native was shot by Butane during an apparent carjacking attempt. The nation has spent a startling amount of money to recover from 3 major hurricanes and huge wildfires. The head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency testified before a Senate committee today, saying the U.S. is spending more than $200 million a day. Brock Long says the challenge put out by Hurricanes Irma, Harvey, and Maria is unprecedented in the history of his agency. Legislators have allocated $52 billion in emergency relief funds so far, but Long says recovering from the disasters continues to be tremendously expensive.
We put over $2.5 billion in the hands of citizens across the country to start that road to recovery. We can't make you whole, but we can actually serve as a catalyst to help you recover.
Long says he also needs additional legal authority from Congress to build the power grid in Puerto Rico back to better than it was before. This Friday, Governor Rick Scott and Florida utility officials will travel to Puerto Rico to try and help the island restore electricity. As of Sunday, about 70% of the island was still without power. The head of Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority announced plans to sever a $300 million deal with Whitefish Energy Holdings over questions about a contract with the small Montana company. Before that Puerto Rico trip, Governor Scott is spending today in Toronto, trying to attract businesses and tourists from Canada. After enormous crowds shut down Marion County's disaster assistance site, a second center has now reopened. Thousands lined up for one last chance at getting storm relief. The center moved sites to accommodate the larger crowds, and thankfully the second time was a charm for the new site.
Out of electric for 9 days, and we got nothing. So this kind of helps compensate things a little bit.
Tens of thousands of people are estimated to have come for aid in Marion County, and that relief site will shut down tomorrow. Former President Bill Clinton made several stops right here in Florida. He is here to see firsthand the effects of the Clinton Foundation partner projects in the area. Here you see him at Orange Park Medical Center. He's touring the hospital's pharmacy and talking about the ongoing opioid epidemic, which President Trump has since declared a national health emergency. The former President Clinton is also visiting a group that helps mothers and babies and a group helping to provide healthy food options to those in need. A controversial charter school is withdrawing its application to build in Sarasota. The district found that the majority of the school's education budget and organizational plan did not meet the district standards. The proposed K-8 STEM Academy was proposed for a site on Beneva Road, but the school's education outline lacked a clear lesson plan for teachers and students, and it left the school $1 million in debt after the first year. According to the committee, the school proposing the new school withdrew its application to help make improvements and so it can apply again in 2019. A Manatee County school counselor received an incredible surprise award. Virgil Mills Elementary's Larissa Bennett was presented with the Counselor of the Year award from the Florida School Counselor Association. Manatee County School Superintendent Diana Green visited the school to personally present the award, and as Bennett tells us, this was a total surprise.
I do all sorts of different things with classroom activities. I do small groups to support their independent learning, and I work with kids individually too, especially in those moments of crisis or need when they're having some issues at home.
Bennett was one of hundreds of applicants from all over the state, and only one counselor is recognized each year. So it's November and Halloween is over, and we all know that kids worked very hard last night trick-or-treating for all their candy. So a local dentist wants to reward that and buy that candy back. Bradenton's Parkwood Dental East says it's all to help children in the long run because their teeth are often ravaged by too much Halloween candy. So this program is part of a national campaign to create a healthier Halloween and to benefit the U.S. troops overseas who would receive the donated candy through Operation Shoebox. The buyback event is scheduled from 3:30 to 6 p.m. today. Kids and their families receive $1 per pound in return. Well, if you've been out driving around lately, odds are you've probably seen an increase in traffic as the colder weather settles in up north. The tourists and snowbirds are heading south to us. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley has more on how the start of season is clogging up the roads.
At Chow Gelato, they say it's simply the best. It's hard to argue.
The gelato is out of this world. It's really authentic gelato, but I really enjoy the coffee.
Sybil Hoffmeyer is a regular. She's also a part-time Venice resident that just got back into town.
A lot of our regulars, our snowbirds are coming back. We do a lot of regulars that come in every day for their coffee, their gelato.
Daria Nafzinger owns Chow. She sees a pickup in both foot traffic and vehicular traffic.
Some people will say, negative things about the traffic on the street. That to me means business is increasing, so it's a good thing. I love it.
That increase in vehicles is nothing new for this time of year, especially for Police Chief Tom Mattmuller.
We will do some targeted enforcement as time goes on, and when we identify areas that need to be addressed, we will have targeted enforcement.
This tourist season, the police say they're cracking down on texting and driving.
Distracted driving is very dangerous. The last thing we want to do is have people operating a vehicle, a 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 pound vehicle at a high rate of speed.
While the traffic is heavier now than it has been over the summer, more and more businesses are finding that there's a blurring line between snowbird season and non-snowbird season.
Venice has really become a destination point. We're seeing a lot more families coming down in the summer.
In Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And the owner of Chow Gelato says that she has seen more Europeans here already this year than in years past. So that's a great thing. John, we always like to see visitors from all over the world.
Absolutely, we do. I didn't get many visitors last night.
I was going to ask. Not as busy as I remember because I think our neighborhood kids are getting older, but it was pretty crowded, and it went till 8:45, so.
Actually, let me put it another way. I didn't get any visitors.
Because you were in the bed.
No, I took the telescope out last night. And,
ooh, what'd you see?
A little bit of the moon, but there was actually some cloudiness around it. Most of the stuff to see was low on the horizon.
We should have been in my backyard. It was very clear.
Yeah.
Nice out there this morning. Not that anyone probably has time. But
hopefully this weekend will be a nice view. We'll see. Anyway, lots of extra candy around today, so help yourself. It's out there in the break room. We'll have daytime highs to top out a little warmer. We'll talk about that in a sec.
Now I know who dropped that off at this early hour. We'll have your first alert forecast plus first alert traffic. And a disturbing problem at a local cemetery, where bodies are reportedly being dug up by animals. And coming up a little later, a Bradenton man who sells ice cream also remains behind bars. We'll tell you why. Stay with us.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second couch coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 56-degree air temperature and a dew point of 54. So we have dew points now that are back into the 50s as opposed to the 40s, which is where we were yesterday, meaning it's going to be more humid this afternoon. But still not uncomfortably so. Still going to be a very pleasant day. East-northeast wind coming in at about 3. The easterly component to our winds are kind of locked in place now, and I don't think they're going to vary too much from that. Oh, they might shift a little bit more to the north or a little bit more to the east, but generally speaking, we'll have a flow that has a fetch off the Atlantic coast, and that'll bring us a little bit more humidity over the next several days and a few fair weather clouds. 55 degrees in Parrish, Wauchula coming in at 56, Mayac at 55, Lakewood Ranch at 55, Bradenton at 54, 62 degrees at Longboat Key, 59 in Venice, 60 in Inglewood, and 56 degrees in Northport. As far as the nation goes, there are a couple of hot spots, but basically the nation is very quiet this morning. We have a big ridge of high pressure that again sits over the deep south and provides us with fair weather, kind of a stalled frontal boundary located just to the north of that, which will be a focal point for the showers and thunderstorms and the moderate possibility of some severe weather as well, stretching from the extreme northern Gulf Coast up through areas of the Ohio Valley. There could be some pretty heavy rainfall there at times. Got some lake effect snows, especially in the central Great Lakes, and a low pressure area providing some plains, northern plains. The Dakotas are going to see some snow showers as well, and some fairly heavy snow in the mountains in the Pacific Northwest. Otherwise, everything's pretty quiet, and travel should not be a big problem today. High pressure, the dominant weather feature for us, again brings us the flow around that high out of the east, and that brings us that higher humidity air from the Atlantic waters. Now, it's not going to be terribly, it's not going to be summer-like humidity, but certainly you'll notice a little more humidity in the air in the afternoon. For some people, that's going to be more comfortable, I think. Daytime highs will also increase just a tad. We'll probably see a daytime high that tops out in the low 80s today as opposed to the mid-70s. Yesterday, by the way, we tied an all-time record for morning low temperatures. Now, we're not going to do that again this week. Mostly sunny skies, rising humidity, and still dry despite the fact that we are going to raise the humidity just a little bit. Lots of dry air in place aloft, indicated by those tan contours on the water vapor imagery, meaning dry air, prohibiting any kind of rain showers despite the higher humidity. Northeast wind, 10 knots, light chop, nice day out on the waters. And the forecast for the rest of the week, not a whole lot here. Daytime highs in the low 80s, and those clocks go back early Sunday. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, John. Not a lot here on the roadways either. We are off to a quiet start so far this morning. No volume problems on I-75. The Bradenton bridges southbound from Palmetto look to be moving well. As you get into Sarasota, no problems getting on or off the expressways at Fruitville, Bee Ridge, or Clark Roads, and things look just as good as you move down into South County. Nokomis, Venice, and the exits along I-75 look clear. It is 5:20 and new details are emerging about who is responsible for a pair of abandoned cemeteries where animals are reportedly digging up graves. The neighbors of the Adams and Rogers cemeteries are complaining to the county and state after seeing body bags dug up and exposed. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick has the story.
Adams and Rogers cemeteries are two of the 3 abandoned cemeteries in Manatee County. They've been abandoned for decades and no one owns this land, but still the burials keep happening.
The problem's not solved.
Funeral director Doug Koval was at Adams and Rogers cemeteries when these body bags were discovered, being dug out of the ground by some type of animal.
Well, there was an odor, which was an attractant, I guess, to the animals.
Koval, one of many funeral directors that still buries the deceased in the Adams and Rogers cemeteries. State law doesn't prohibit burials in abandoned cemeteries like these.
We either use a burial vault or a steel casket. And when you close it, it locks.
And with Koval Funeral Home, the bodies are buried literally 6 feet under. But other funeral directors say that's not the case with some of D. Allen Moore's clients that are also buried in the Adams and Rogers cemeteries and marked with these white crosses.
I don't think they were buried deep enough. If an animal can unearth a gravesite, I mean, obviously it's not buried enough.
Moore disputes that. He told me on the phone he buries the deceased with at least 12 inches of topsoil. That, according to experts, is legal.
There's a provision in there that says the body has to be buried at least 12 inches below the covering soil to the part of the casket.
In this case, it's to the top of the body bag or fiberboard that Moore says can disintegrate in just weeks.
It doesn't cost much more to do it the right way.
With no one owning the land, Manatee County has been maintaining the properties.
Basically, it helps folks who have broken the law or misdemeanors to do community service and offer some hard labor to the county. And so we put those folks to work maintaining properties just like this.
But it's not the county's land. That is simply a public service they provide.
It's kind of a goodwill gesture to the community that over time, again, has come to the county.
According to the state, there's no law that says a specific entity has to take over when these cemeteries are abandoned. Oftentimes, it will be the families of the individuals who are buried here, or oftentimes local or county government will take over. Again, that's not the case here at Adams and Rogers. Reporting in Bradenton, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Jess. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, tech reviewers are filing their first reviews of the new iPhone 10. We will tell you specifics about what they're saying. And then coming up at 5:30, a possible hit and run in Manatee County has left one person dead. We'll have more when we come back.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Enjoy fine wine, craft beer, and delicious foods, all while supporting a great cause at the 16th Annual Suncoast Food and Wine Festival presented by Publix, Saturday, November 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Sarasota Polo Club. Taste wines from around the world and sample cuisine from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds benefit a variety of local charities and Rotary Club projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
Do you have type 2 diabetes, which requires daily blood monitoring? If you have diabetes, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for diabetic testing supplies at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. Our accredited staff will handle all of your paperwork for free. And best of all, your diabetic testing supplies are shipped directly to your home for free. Call now to see if you qualify for a meter upgrade and a free pedometer to monitor your daily walking. Use alternate testing sites, a smaller blood sample, and even hear your results out loud. Will you qualify for diabetic testing supplies and an upgraded meter covered by Medicare, Obamacare, or health insurance at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you?
Find out for free by calling the Diabetes Resource Center at 1-800-394-1098. That's 1-800-394-1098, 1-800-394-1098.
Just a reminder, if you have any fun pictures or video that you'd like to see on social media or share with us, maybe the kids' costumes from last night or upcoming weekend plans, we love to see what you're up to. Connect with us on Facebook, and you can see what we're doing on Good Morning Suncoast. And of course, we will continue to monitor any breaking news situations. That's what we do best here, and you can get the latest by downloading the new version of our app. iPhone users, go to the App Store. You can search WWSB or My Suncoast. It will update automatically on Android. It is 5:25 this morning, and tech reviewers have been putting the new iPhone X through the paces, the iPhone 10. ABC's Diane Macedo and Kenneth Gibson tell us what they're saying.
In today's Tech Bites, 2 days before the iPhone 10 officially hits the market, the reviews are in, and they're pretty positive.
Yeah, the edge-to-edge display is drawing universal acclaim. Reviewers say the Face ID works most of the time, and emojis are being called a killer feature, if not a bit gimmicky. Battery life said to be mediocre.
A glitch in a code update is being blamed for locking users of Google Docs out of some of their files on Tuesday.
The error caused the program to label some documents as abusive, which triggered a term of service violation.
And the new 360-degree camera Rilo is now on sale for $500. What sets it apart from similar cameras is its software.
It smooths out videos even if the camera was moving or stays focused on an object as the camera moves. Right now it works only with iPhones. An Android version is coming pretty soon.
And then you can feel like you were really there.
360 of everything. Yep.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Mass Mutual Life Insurance.
We come into this world needing others. Then we are told it's braver to go it alone. That independence is the way to accomplish. But there's another way to live. A way that sees the only path to fulfillment is through others. That our time here can be deep beyond measure. No one who chose interdependence ever found despair. Because what the world taught as weakness is, in fact, our greatest virtue.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
The ABC 7 First Alert Hurricane Guide arms you with vital information when severe weather threatens the Suncoast. Visit mysuncoast.com and download yours today.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, a man who sold ice cream is behind bars after sexually assaulting a young girl. We will have the latest. Plus, a suspect involved in a hit and run is still at large. We'll tell you how you could help the investigation. And a variety of tech giants will be testifying in federal court over Russian meddling. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning. I am Stephanie Roberts. Ray Collins has today off. Thanks for joining us. It is Wednesday, November 1st. To see if our weather changes as we head into a new month, we'll head over to First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi. And John, I don't think we want to change too much. These last couple days have been gorgeous.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I know it's a little cold for some folks, well below average. In fact, tied a record yesterday for nighttime cool temperatures. But you just can't beat that low humidity air in my book. It feels so crisp outside. Now, that will be changing over the course of the next several days. We're going to add a little humidity to the air. But for some, I think that'll make it feel more comfortable. The temperature, daytime high temperatures will also rise today from where they were yesterday, probably by about 5 degrees or so. But, you know, absolutely fantastic weather still, even if it is just a tad bit warmer. We're looking at some cloud cover over on the other coast, and like we had yesterday, some of that cloud cover will move into our area in the form of some high, thin clouds. Not a lot in the way of a rainfall potential as the air aloft is still way too dry. But if you look at the 24-hour temperature change from this time yesterday, we're looking at about a 6 to 10 degrees increase in our current temperature. So 56 degrees in Sarasota, 55 Lakewood Ranch, Mayaca the same, Bradenton at 55, Inglewood at 59. You get the picture. Across our region today, look for a daytime high that tops out near the 80-degree mark, probably a little bit better than 80, 81, 82, something like that, and lots of sunshine. So all in all, it looks like another fantastic day. Back to you, Steph.
All right, looks great. And it looks like a fantastic morning commute. If you get going now, we are not looking at any problems on the roadways. A little volume there at State Road 64 and 301 in downtown Bradenton. But for the most part, things are quiet, including I-75, Manatee into Sarasota counties. Some volume Fruitville Road getting on the expressway, but no major slowdowns. In fact, things look great into Nokomis, Venice, and Northport as well. It is 5:33, and a Bradenton man who sells ice cream remains behind bars this morning. The man is charged with sexually assaulting a young girl from his neighborhood. ABC 7's Rick Adams has the latest.
Well, it does appear that there was a lot more going on here than just ice cream being sold. The alleged assault has shocked this entire neighborhood. 66-year-old Bernardo Salinas is known as the ice cream man around this Pride Park neighborhood. People who live here say he would go around with his ice cream cart selling all types of treats to the kids for many years in and around 59th Avenue Circle East in Bradenton. On Sunday, Salinas was arrested, accused of sexually assaulting a 7-year-old girl.
I feel better that he is in jail, but it also puts me on edge thinking like a lot of people could easily be so nice but could be really harmful. Like, it actually scares me.
The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says the young girl was in Salinas' home on Sunday with her 8-year-old brother. The Sheriff's Office tells us it wasn't uncommon for kids to be inside his home buying ice cream.
The sibling was asked to leave, and that's when he proceeded to sexually assault her.
14-year-old David lives a few homes down from Salinas. He says this has shaken his family and the neighborhood.
I was really scared because back in the day before that happened, I used to buy a lot of ice cream with him, and I used to actually send my little sister to go get ice cream for us. And then after that, it's been a little bit spooky now.
Salinas has been charged with capital sexual battery. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office is continuing with their investigation. And investigators say there could be more victims. If you know any more about this, you're being asked to contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Office immediately. Reporting from Bradenton, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Manatee County Sheriff's investigators are looking for answers in a possible deadly hit-and-run accident. Deputies say emergency workers found a man seriously hurt on 14th Street West last Friday. He was taken to Blake Hospital, where he later died. Deputies say an autopsy found that the man may have been hit by a car, and they're now investigating it as a possible hit-and-run. But there was no evidence at the scene, and witnesses did not see a vehicle hit the man.
So we're working as a possible hit-and-run and asking anyone with any information to call us. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. Obviously, if he was hit by a car, somebody saw it.
So if you have any information related to this incident, you are asked to call the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Another huge blow to a Manatee County high school football team just before playoffs get underway. Southeast High is having to forfeit 6 regular season games, 5 of which were victories, according to the Manatee County School District. It was learned that an academically ineligible player had played in those games. The Seminoles were 6-1 so far this season, with just 1 regular season game left this Friday night against Harmony High School. Southeast officials are reporting this violation to the Florida High School Athletic Association. And the violation is a double whammy for Southeast. Last Tuesday, 6 players were suspended for 4 weeks after they were involved in an altercation with another team after a game. The district says this ineligible player was not among those suspended. Executives from Facebook, Twitter, and Google continue their testimony on Capitol Hill today about their role in Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election. ABC's Janai Norman has the story.
Foreign actors attempting to influence Americans, exploiting social media sites aiming to sway the presidential election.
We saw this concerted effort to sow division and discord.
Executives from Silicon Valley giants, Facebook, Twitter, and Google, appeared before the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee to testify about Russia's interference in last year's election.
So this continued after his election.
It continued until we disabled the accounts.
Facebook admitting the company missed key signals and revealing Russian-backed ads with false and inflammatory information reached more than half of all U.S. Facebook users, an estimated 126 million people, equal to more than 1 in 3 Americans. Senator Al Franken outraged, demanding answers about how the sophisticated tech company missed the mark, connecting Russian money to ads about the U.S. presidential election.
Those are 2 data points. American political ads and Russian money, rubles. How could you not connect those 2 dots?
In hindsight, we should have had a broader lens. There were signals we missed.
The social media companies say they're putting new restrictions in place, like hiring more ad reviewers. But despite these new revelations, the Russian foreign minister says no one has provided any proof to confirm allegations of Russia's interference in the election. Janai Norman, ABC News, Washington.
Today marks 1 month since the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. On October 1st, gunman Stephen Paddock killed 58 people and injured hundreds more, firing from the windows of a suite at the Mandalay Bay Hotel. Paddock was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and the investigation into the massacre continues. But officials say they may never know what motivated Paddock, as the 64-year-old simply does not fit the standard profile of a mass shooter. House Republicans are expected to release their final version of a tax reform bill this afternoon. Members of the Ways and Means Committee are still hammering out the final details. Over the weekend, Republicans made a major concession on the federal deduction for state and local property taxes. The original plan had called for an end to that deduction. Many House members, especially those in the Northeast, pushed back. The GOP says it's on track to debut the bill today, but they concede that new revelations in the Russia investigation could make passing the legislation more difficult. This Friday, Governor Rick Scott and Florida utility officials will travel to Puerto Rico to try and help the island restore electricity. As of Sunday, about 70% of the island was still without power. The head of Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority announced plans to sever a $300 million deal with Whitefish Energy Holdings over questions about a contract with the small Montana company. Before that Puerto Rico trip, Governor Scott is spending today and tomorrow in Toronto trying to attract businesses and tourists from Canada. Now to an incredible rescue here in Florida, captured on drone footage. The video shows the terrifying moments when a boat became trapped in rough waters off the coast of Jupiter. The boat capsized and the man on board was thrown into the ocean. The man tried everything he could to stay afloat. That's when a 13-year-old surfer, Sam Ruskin, first heard the cries for help. He then spotted the drowning boaters struggling helplessly against the current.
There's this guy, and he was like coming around the inlet, so I paddled to the end of the inlet and like where the current is, and I gave him my surfboard. It's really strong. Like I was swimming next to him, so I was really kind of struggling just to get out of that area because you can get sucked into the jetty.
He didn't even blink an eye, just went right over there, jumped off his board, handed it to a grown man, saved his life, came back and said, "Hey, what's for dinner, Dad?"
Some quick thinking there. After the rescue, the teenager got back on his board and went back to surfing. Next year, Florida shoppers may be able to cash in on 2 back-to-back weekends of tax-free back-to-school supplies. The proposal would allow shoppers to avoid paying sales taxes for 10 days in late July and early August. This would apply to certain clothes, shoes, school supplies, and personal computers. The state has offered back-to-school tax holidays most years since 1998. This past August, it was a shorter 3-day tax holiday. If the 10-day proposal is approved, it would last from July 27th through August 5th. Police officers in Tarpon Springs are thrilling the online world. They posted this video of officers performing the classic Michael Jackson Thriller dance on YouTube. The department made the video to raise money for the Cured Foundation. This nonprofit is dedicated to helping those suffering from gastrointestinal diseases. That's a lot of fun to see them doing that.
It is a lot of fun.
I have never been out to see it on St. Armand's Circle. Have you?
I have not.
When the Sarasota High School group
tradition.
does it. It's a huge tradition.
Yeah.
Something I'd always like to do on a Halloween night.
And apparently they really do it upright.
I have heard that. And it's a great place to trick-or-treat, too. St. Armand's is.
Sure is.
Very family atmosphere.
That must have been where they all went then.
I think that they weren't at your house.
They weren't at my house.
That's all right. And the candy is in the break room, John says this morning.
Absolutely. Was most of it. We have some changing weather coming up, I think, over the course of the next couple of days in terms of humidity, but really it's going to continue being just so very pleasant. We'll talk about that forecast in a minute.
Good. We don't want to change too much. We'll also take a look at First Alert traffic. And if you don't have a candy policy for your kids, well, Halloween might be a good time to start one. We'll tell you how in HealthSmart.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Enjoy fine wine, craft beer, and delicious foods, all while supporting a great cause at the 16th Annual Suncoast Food and Wine Festival presented by Publix, Saturday, November 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Sarasota Polo Club. Taste wines from around the world and sample cuisine from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds benefit a variety of local charities and Rotary Club projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Looking at a 56-degree air temperature with a dew point of 54, it is going to be a very beautiful afternoon, even though we're seeing a little bit of an increase in our humidities, and consequently our nighttime low temperatures are rising as well. We're about anywhere from 6 to 10 degrees above the temperature 24 hours ago at this time. And that's pretty much area wide. So we are on a kind of a warming trend, but we're going to cap that warming trend, and we're not going to get too terribly warm. Of course, at this time of year, November, you wouldn't expect to see August-like temperatures. 60 degrees, Wauchula, 59, Arcadia, Mayaca at 58. So's Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch comes in at 59 degrees. 65 degrees, Longboat Key, warmer spot there. 56 in Sarasota, 61 in Venison. Inglewood coming in at 62. Northport kind of a little bit cooler there at 59 degrees. We have across the region today the influence of a high-pressure ridge still firmly in place. And it's a significant high-pressure ridge located over the deep south of Florida Peninsula, eastern seaboard. That is going to prevent a frontal boundary that's kind of meandering back to the west from advancing in this direction. Eventually, it'll just be absorbed into this high-pressure ridge over the course of the next 48 hours. It will, however, for today, spawn the potential of some strong storms along that frontal boundary. And then to the north, we have some snow showers along the northern tier, especially in the Pacific Northwest, where there could be some significant mountain snows. Wanted to get a little Utah snowing in? Well, it looks like you might have a better opportunity over the course of the next few days. Maybe a few of those ski resorts will be opening a little early. High pressure, the dominant weather feature, easterly wind flow. All of that means increasing humidity as we get that Atlantic moisture brought over on that easterly flow. Now aloft, the air is still pretty dry, so don't expect much in the way of rainfall, even though we do see a little increase in moisture. I think the worst that we might see from that moisture is a little bit of patchy morning fog over the course of the end of the work week and the beginning of the weekend. So mostly sunny, rising humidity, still dry conditions. Watch the RPM computer forecast as the clouds kind of advance in this direction. And like yesterday, we see a few high clouds at times, but I think any kind of sprinkles or showers should be mostly confined to the other coast. As far as the moisture forecast goes, watch the increase as we move from those kind of light green colors to the darker green colors, indicating an increase in surface moisture and that better potential for weekend fog. Northeast wind at 10 knots, light chop, 2-foot seas. Nice day for boating. And the extended range forecast, not much change from a daytime high in the low 80s, nighttime low in the mid 60s, and fall back as we head into Saturday night, Sunday morning, actually 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Back to you, Steph.
And we'll be looking forward to that. All right, thank you, John. Another nice day on the way, another nice morning commute at this hour. No big problems. Little volume in Bradenton at State Road 70 and 301, but I-75 is looking just fine through Manatee County. University Parkway not showing any slowdowns at this hour. Heading into Sarasota, a few people backing up at Fruitville and 301 getting toward downtown, but Beveridge and Clark moving just fine. And as you move into South County, it is smooth sailing down 41 through Nokomis and into Venice, and also I-75 down into Northport, not showing any problems. In this hour's Health Smart, Halloween is come and gone, so chances are your kids have a week's worth of candy. In today's Health Smart, Kim Hutcherson explains the candy policy.
If you don't have a candy policy for your kids, Halloween might be a good time to start one. The World Health Organization says kids' daily caloric intake from sugar should be about 10% of total calories. However, the CDC says it's unfortunately much higher than that. Even on non-Halloween days, they say about 16% of boys' daily calorie intake comes from added sugar, and girls are getting about 15%. Setting limits for how much candy kids consume can be good, as long as guidelines are realistic, consistent, and positive. Some experts suggest 1 piece of candy per year of age, like allowing a 5-year-old 5 pieces of Halloween candy a day. Also, consider storing that candy in a central location in the home instead of a child's bedroom. And if you're concerned about your children's teeth, some dentists suggest chocolate as their preferred choice because it doesn't stick to the teeth and it melts away in the mouth. It also contains the antibacterial tannin that can get rid of some bacteria in the mouth. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
All right, thanks, Kim. Easier said than done. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll update our top local news headlines. And a Colorado girl got cans instead of candy for Halloween. We'll tell you why.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing, but sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that, and with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and 3-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-307-2040 now and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you the #1 mistakes retirees are making with their investments today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-307-2040 to have your free information kit rushed to your door. Again, that's 800-307-2040.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes,
B, console her.
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend.
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
It is 5:54. Here are some of the top stories we're following for you on the Suncoast today. A Bradenton man who sells ice cream remains behind bars this morning. He is charged with sexually assaulting a young girl in the neighborhood. Plus, Manatee County Sheriff's investigators are looking for answers in a possible deadly hit-and-run accident. They're looking for someone who may have seen something. And a controversial charter school withdrawing its application to build in Sarasota. The district found the majority of the school's education, budget, and organizational plan simply does not meet district standards. We're going to check in with John in just a moment, but first, instead of trick-or-treating, a Colorado girl went door-to-door this Halloween for those in need. She collected cans of food from her neighbors instead of collecting candy. This started with a food drive at her school earlier in the month, and she got the idea that it would be great to do something. She does a handstand on your front porch as her trick and then asks for cans as her treat. She admitted, though, she's still tempted by those traditional candy treats. Well, good for her for doing something different.
Awesome. So she just shows up at the door and says, I don't want the candy.
Right.
I want the cans.
I'm going to give you a trick. Can you please give me a can?
Good for her.
I know. I like that. And I like that she performed for it as well.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. She
Little
put a little something out there.
Absolutely.
Good for her.
Good weather being put out there today?
Absolutely some weather. We're looking at some a little bit higher humidity. But I think, you know, I think a lot of people have had to heat their air, and it's been so dry inside their house that I'm hearing complaints about
I notice it with being thirsty more during the day with the drier air. So
a lot of water at night, too, it seems like.
Probably a good thing. All right, we're going to enjoy the sunshine today. Hopefully you will as well. We'll be right back with today's top stories and another full hour of news. Have a great day.